By the Onon River on the eastern slopes of the Khenti Mountains of northern Mongolia, a noblewoman once of high aristocracy pounds the ground with her fists and kicks at the dirt with her feet. Her final moments of childbearing come to their natural conclusion. Like many mothers from the dawn of humanity, the sight of her child brings about plentiful tears of joy and hope. Yet as the noblewoman known to her native Ol Kanud tribe as Olun clutches her newborn gift to the world, she notices a smear of red across the child's right hand. Soon thereafter, a prophecy is placed upon the child that he marks the sign of a future leader, but unsure to be a ruler of fortune and eminence or a foretelling of curse and misfortune. Born into the Kamag Mongol tribe and son of a high-ranking chief Yesugei sometime in the 1160s, the child is birthed with the name of Temujin, later to be known throughout the annals of time as the world's greatest conqueror, Genghis Khan. From the day of his birth to his formation as a great conqueror, the life of the young Temujin is rife with moments of hardship and tragedy. Whilst little is known of the very earliest years of his childhood, Temujin, son of Yesugei, is believed to have been a timid and shy boy, easily frightened and bullied by others. His mother, originally wedded to another man named Sildeu of the Merkit tribe, later kidnapped by Yesugei, had already birthed 2 sons from her previous marriage, giving Temujin 2 half-brothers from whom to learn the arts of cavalry and archery, alongside his tough war chief of a father. In the following years, Olun would give birth to 4 more children, 3 boys, Kasar, Hachiun and Temuj, and 1 girl, Temulen. The first major known event from Temujin's life was when he turned 8 years old. Seen as being of age within Mongol law of the time, his father decided it was time to betroth him with a prestigious and suitable companion. The family travelled to another province of Mongolia, where Yesugei arranged for the betrothal between his son and the daughter of a war chieftain, Dai Sichen, of the Ongarats province. As the daughter Borte commanded a high price, her father demanded that young Temujin work at the family camp until his debt were to be paid. Fearing that his strong alliance between the chieftain's family and his own may break upon refusal, Yesugei agreed to leave his son at the new encampment and soon after embarked on the journey back home. The relationship between Temujin and his father was frosty throughout his younger years, likely stemming from Yesugei's disappointment at how cowardly his son appeared to be, so the decision was likely readily accepted. This is the last time Temujin would ever see his father alive again. During the ride home, Yesugei, relying on the kindness of local Tartars, stopped at a yurt for food and shelter. Using a false name and covering his identity due to unfavourably being in enemy territory, he joins the feast of the main camp within a neighbouring province, with offers of fine foods and beverages. However, one of the tribesmen, recognising the war chief as an enemy who had killed a prestigious warrior of theirs in battle some years ago, sought revenge and laced the meal of Temujin's father with poison. Although sickly and nearing death, Yesugei managed to escape the camp and return to his own tribe. A messenger was later sent to retrieve Temujin, but the young boy returned home to find his father had already passed. Shortly after the death of Yesugei, the unity of his Kamag Mongol confederation shattered into pieces. With Temujin and his older half-brother Beter not considered old enough to rule, the Borigin and Tayichiud clans of the federation abandoned Olun and her extended family. With no real reason to keep an oath of loyalty to the family without Yesugei, the clans decided to abandon the family and move onwards to seek new allies. Without the protection of fellow clans from enemy tribes, bandits, or just simply the extreme climate conditions of northern Mongolia, being condemned to such a fate was akin to that of death. And yet, in spite of the harsh conditions, the family managed to adapt and survive to their new hunter-gatherer lifestyle by collecting nuts, roots, and hunting small animals and fish. For a time at least, it seemed as though they would live out their days in the wilderness, but as the siblings grew older, tensions began to mount between Temujin and Beter. It's likely this harsher lifestyle that gradually turned the young Khan from a weak, faint-hearted boy into a much thicker-skinned juvenile. Both boys, now in their adolescence years, frequently clashed over the division of hunting spoils and would often engage in fierce competition for dominance over their younger siblings. As their bitterness towards one another increased, things were soon to take a deadly turn. Whilst out hunting and fishing one day with his brothers, Beter, keener than ever to establish his dominance, unjustly deprived Temujin and Kassar of their catches. Infuriated and humiliated in front of the others, the two boys galloped back to their camp to retrieve their bows. Whether in the heat of the moment or premeditated, the boys isolated their older brother from the others and brutally killed him with their arrows. This killing, whilst aiding to drive a wedge between Temujin and his mother, also elevated the teenagers to the new dominant position within the family. Now the oldest of the siblings, and seen as the rightful heir to his father's claim over the clan, the course of history had been set, with Temujin destined to transform from a spindly boy of the Mongolian steppes to the war-waging world conqueror of Genghis Khan.